I'm the argumentative one. I used to not fear backing down from fights. Not because I thought I would win, but I thought that it was just the only way I knew how to communicate. I used to get in fights all the time. And once again, not because I thought I could beat everybody or anybody, but it's just how I knew how to express my frustration. But when I met Jasmine, when we had our son, I wanted to be better. I strived to be better, to find other ways to communicate. Not just frustration, but everything. It's not that I became a pacifist. It's more like the idea that I knew there were other ways to express things that I wanted, or things that I needed, or things that needed to be done, rather than through violence. The hardest thing for me is to keep a cool calm when confronted, because my first instinct is to hit things or pick something and throw it or flip a table. But over the years, especially the first 2 to 3, I strive to find better ways to show my son and show others that I am more of a person. It doesn't always work out that way. Um, Before, when I used to get angry and I knew it, and I was able to catch myself, I'd always force myself to do something work related. If I got angry, rather than sit in my room and stew about it, I would get something done. I'd get everything done. And that kind of has followed me throughout the years. People see that I do a lot of things now. And this is going to sound very cliche, but that is mainly because I'm always angry. So a question for another day would be, how do I make myself not angry? I honestly don't think I have the answer for that. But I lose mental focus. I do. I get kind of retarded. And, like, nothing I say makes sense. Even if it started to make sense, the more I try to use words, the less sense it makes. Because I'm not prepared. I don't have a case built. I'm just mad and I'm angry and I just want to hurt things and throw things, and that's definitely not a side I ever wanted my family to see. I always wanted just to do better. Whenever me and Jasmine got into arguments, I always strived to talk things out. It obviously didn't work. But I never let my son see that anger. I never let him see that frustration. Even the incident in 2014, he didn't see that. He didn't see his father's weakest moment. I've been here, not in this household, but free, for about 2 years, going on 3. No incidents. No incidences. No one. No, that's not true. There was that one in Clearfield, but I stopped myself before it got really, really bad. Because if it got any worse bad, then I wouldn't be talking to you guys. But there are times that I really, really wonder what I can do to fix that. Yesterday, I got into an argument with Chuck. Something so stupid. I think I mentioned before that he doesn't listen to contacts. He doesn't listen. If he asks a question and it's longer by a second by his own standards, he then goes on a 15-minute rant. An unimportant, an irrelevant 15-minute rant. And if it was Simon, he would just walk away because it wouldn't be worth his time. But this is a fight. It's a fight because recently with Bobby coming back, how did Mom put it? I'm not gonna put it how Mom puts it because she didn't put a filter on it. But how did she put it? Well, how should I put it? It's like a cockfight. You know, oh, I'm the alpha. I'm the alpha. Do what I say because I know better. I don't have to fight like that. I know I don't because to a certain degree, it's not my place to do so. You know, Sue's not my wife or my mom. Not really. Chuck's not my husband or my dad. Not really. And Bobby's not really my brother. Animals don't really matter in that whole dynamic. Yeah, I live here, and granted, to a certain degree, their decisions affect me, but I have worked really hard to make sure that I'm an island upon myself. The things that I do, yes, it affects them, but it's my decisions. But it doesn't stop me from being angry. Like yesterday, Bobby got into a small argument with Chuck about the Grand Dam. He says that if it's not fixed, he's not putting more money into it. Which is odd because he's the one that wants it. Like, he wasn't the one that drove up to past Lockhaven to pick it up. He wasn't the one who had to drive it back. He isn't the one who went out there with Granddad, with Donnie, and spent hours fixing the brake line, the air intake, gas line. Like, me and Granddad put hours into it. While Bobby, even yesterday when they argued about it, he went back to his room to sleep, woke up later, and then hung out with his friends. But seeing my dad, I know he can't do it by himself. And yes, I know, I call them how did Simon put it, pet names. But they choose me because they know I can get it done. Even without the knowledge, I'll still make the effort to do everything I can to get it done. I don't want it. I don't want the Grand Dam. It's just sad that Bobby doesn't put the effort into it. And I could be mad about it, but it won't change him because he is stuck in his ways. So is Chuck. Matter of fact, yesterday we got into an argument because had to go to Renovo. Granddad couldn't go. His truck wasn't able to make the trip. And our backup is Zach. But Zach just recently got married. You know, has a lot of things to take care of. He said he'd be there around 2-ish. 4 o'clock came around. Obviously, he wasn't around. Not obviously, but he wasn't around. Hence the argument. I told him I can't push him further to do me a favor. You know, he knows what time he said he would be. You know, he'll be here as soon as he can. And then Dad started to go into oh, did you get a hold? What was his exact wording? Did you message him this morning at 8 o'clock? And I'm like, no, yeah, I did that. I also messaged him 2 days ago and yesterday. And then it was a 15-minute argument. It became an argument because he wouldn't listen. He kept saying that, oh, I only wanted today because the reason I said the extra stuff because of him, because I did the extra stuff because I know how he is. He would have been like, you should have done it 2 days ago. Because And like either way, it would have been a 15-minute rant, and I didn't have time because Zach was really supposed to be there momentarily. I had to go upstairs, prep, change clothes, get the proper equipment, that kind of stuff. And my phone's blowing up. It always does. We got into an argument about that, and I started really questioning exactly my purpose in this household. I started questioning whether my place in this household is where I want to be. If things are fair, and I know things aren't, but if things aren't fair, I have two choices. I can either change the situation or I can change my mindset. But in all honesty, I can't really change my mindset on this. And changing the situation is even harder. And for the first time ever, Simon was silent, because I think he knew it's gonna happen. Like Mom says, it's a cockfight, and I'm not talking about him and Bobby. Eventually, it's gonna come down to the fact that I'm gonna need my own place. I'm gonna need my own castle. The tower, as nice as this place is not really mine. Not like I would own an apartment, because that's technically where I would want to be. Because the house would be too big. No, I'm just saying that I need a place that I rule over. That I make the decisions first and last. I can handle myself pretty well, but I kind of put myself in a certain particular hole, making it slightly difficult for me to move forward. There's no help I can ask for it, because they are not able to. They're not financially sound to. They just can't. And it's not their responsibility to do so. It's mine. Like whenever Linan was watching over me during the couple months that I didn't have my medication. She took over my finances, and it ended up being a complete mess. And I'm trying to put the nicest word to it. So I take care of that myself, because no one else's responsibility. My life is no one else's responsibility. And I can't even share it with anybody, because that got ruined whenever I shared it with my wife. I can't keep blaming her, though. Like I don't blame Chuck and Sue. Like I don't blame Bobby or Linan or any of them. That's mine. My responsibility, not theirs. So the fight in me has changed from a thug, and hopefully to something better. Something more productive, something more reasonable, something more understanding. And I have to get used to the fact that I have to back down and choose my battles a lot more carefully. Because in the end, another cliche, it really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what I do with what I got. And I'm in this situation, so I had to figure out what am I going to do with what I got. Because my son's going to see that. He's going to see, oh, he might not see it now that he's 5, but he'll see it eventually when he grows up. And he's going to see that I wasn't just a man of words. I was a man of action. Something needed to be done for me, I take care of it. If something was done in my name, I had to be involved and finish it. I'm no Rick, I'm no Negan, I'm no super persona that they put on TV. But my life does revolve around me. And I have to start realizing that, or else I'm going to get lost. And in our world, being lost is the worst kind of thing, a fate worse than death. I'm not looking forward to that. So I got some work to do. Gotta figure some things out and make some plans. I'm sure that makes Simon happy. I'm pretty sure he expected this kind of fallout to happen. It's not really a fallout, because I'm sure they think everything's fine and dandy. Sue, Mom, I'm sure she's gonna be upset the day that I finally leave, and I'm trying to find a way to express to her that how I leave and how our relationship happens, or family-wise, of course, with Tink and Tyler and Bobby and CJ and Dad, Chuck. It all relies on them and how graceful the exit is, because if they're mad about it, then what's the point of me coming back? So let's see if we can find a way to gracefully leave them in a slightly better position and not screw them over. Because the last thing I want to do to these people who let me into their house, into their lives, is to screw them over, right? So let's see what we can do to minimize the damage. Let's see if we can aim for my birthday, huh? June's only a few months away.